over and giving me some scarring in my capsule, and I think was to the surprise of people around that it had happened so soon. So just confirmation that his hand was on it, and from that point on, very blessed to have the guys that we have in here organizationally to get me stronger and keep my mind in the right place, and challenging me to push through some stuff. You know, Mark has gone through some similar injuries in his career, and he was a huge help with me when it comes to trusting certain parts of the process. So it's been long. There's been some ups and downs. I've been pretty quiet on it. I don't like, putting the cart in front of the horse. But the biggest goal was to try to find a way to be healthy and contribute in any way. And my goal is to get back and be better and stronger than I was before the injury. And it's just still part of the process, but I've checked out the boxes I need to, and now it's just getting back on the mound and just letting God get the glory for the recovery that He gave me.
Amen to that, brother.
Yeah.
And we sat right here and talked to Dave yesterday. He was saying he wanted to get you in clean innings and in certain leverage situations. Have they talked to you kind of on a game plan moving forward as we come down to close the season?
Probably similar sentiments. We had a discussion yesterday. I went in and just to give him a hug and tell him it's glad to be back, and just kind of laid out kind of some ideas. I'm not a prideful individual. We all are to an extent, but I understand the big picture here, and these guys have had a phenomenal year without me, and I just want to try to fit in however that works and not step on any toes or mess up any routine or rhythms that this team has established over the course of the first 3 quarters of the year. So whatever capacity it is that I can help this team win down the stretch, if it's what it's been in the past, great. If it's different, great. I'm just very grateful to be back and have an opportunity to pitch.
Blake, in Oklahoma City, were you able to trust your body to do what it normally did before the injury? I know I've heard athletes say that it's one thing to be physically healthy, but then the mental part to trust. Were you able to overcome that and get that trust back?
Yeah, I think the trust part was a lot earlier. Learning to actually, throw the crap out of the ball, for lack of a better term, and long toss instead of just guiding my arm to a slot and trying to keep it from having, soreness or pain. And once we got over that hurdle, there was no issues with trust. It was more or less, how do I find my mechanics? It's literally like trying to play catch in December and build yourself back up for spring training and be ready for the season. So I kind of view myself right now as if I were opening week. That's kind of like where I'm at. That was the point of the 6 outings that we discussed, and being in AAA, in some game type situations, because most spring trainings I feel like anywhere between 6 to 8 outings, I kind of feel like my stuff has cleaned itself up to where I can compete at a capacity that would be in season form, I guess. And everything before that, throwing against our guys here, and then the 6 outings down there, just kind of like more of a spring training process to get myself back. So, yeah, I'm excited. Obviously I still have, nobody's perfect from day one when they come in, but my goal is to be as crisp as this team needs me to be, and it's not going to be by lack of effort. Yeah.
Just to clarify on the injury thing, so how close were you to having to get some sort of surgery that might have ended your season? And when you say the scarring, is that kind of what allowed you to go this other route and be able to come back this year? Just kind of how many different paths were there originally that you kind of had to decide which one to go down?
Yeah, there's a lot of discernment trying to figure out what's best. Obviously this organization was great, and they offered me an option. They felt like it was best for my health to continue to seek the rehab route because of the nature of the injury and where it was at. I wanted to know which one was best for me moving forward, and they gave me multiple opinions, I guess just like doctors who have been around that type of injury to help me make the best decision for myself. And in my mind, if I hadn't scarred over, I probably would have heavily leaned on the idea of surgery. But the fact that it had scarred over, I think is just, it was such a answered prayer that it was obvious, and the fact that, everything that's happened here in LA in my career has been a lot of peace. And so Andrew and the front office have been so great to my family. that taking the stress of a decision of finances out of it and doing what was best for me and my health moving forward, and then God providing an opportunity that lines up with it ultimately, like it was kind of a no-brainer. But there were some heavy decisions to be made because it's a business, and it's not something for me like to get upset about if I were to not have my option picked up next year. But I was just trying to make right of like, how do I move forward health-wise and provide for my family, and they saw an opportunity to get creative, and we worked it out to where I'm healthy now, and hopefully I can bless this organization for years to come.
There's some options treatment-wise now that there weren't in the past, like stem cell, like PRP. Did you go down either of those routes or both of those routes?
No, I'm not a big fan of stem cell, so I didn't go that route. I think we did some type of injection to kind of like, I know for sure we did a contrast, and then I'm pretty sure it was like a PRP, I think that's where they do your own platelets and then inject them back in. Yeah. So I think we did that route right initially to try to help. I don't think they felt like it was necessary, but anything to help speed it up was what we kind of went for, because of where it was at. It was such a vascular area that they felt like because of the amount of blood flow in that area, it would heal up on its own.
Was it in the back of the shoulder?
The front side.
The front side.
Yeah.
Now, down in Oklahoma City, your velocity didn't maintain where we're used to seeing it. Were you holding back? Is that the adrenaline of a big league game? Is it spring training, like you said?
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of it is trying to work on getting your firing patterns the same. My velocity kind of did the same when I was here live against our guys, but it stayed higher, probably. For the last 3 or 4 outings, I think I was probably 5 to 8 here before I went to Oklahoma City. So I think some of it has to do with adrenaline, but some of it too is just like feeling things out. Like some days I'm focused on trying to execute sliders, so maybe I'm guiding my breaking balls and my intensity is down, so my velo takes a hit. Or one day it was such a soggy day out that, and I don't know if it's a factor or not, but like if you can't leverage your front side, it makes it really hard. So we'll see. My thing too is like the fact that I'm even throwing this year is such a miracle, that if my velo is down, like I don't like accept that, but it is what it is. And if I can compete with the right action, like to me it doesn't matter if my velo is averaging 95, 96 versus 96, 98. It wouldn't matter to me as long as I can execute and have the action that I've had in the past.
Do you feel like there's going to be a period up here of like knocking off rust or getting back into some sort of rhythm, or do you feel like where your stuff's at right now, you can kind of jump back into being, somewhere close to kind of where you were before?
I mean, comparison's the killer of joy, so I'm not going to go down that road of comparing myself to anything in the past, but I'm going to try to be the best I can when I get out there. Yeah.
Especially with how good this team has been, how difficult was it to stay patient, or are you always steadfast with the process is going to work itself out?
I think the biggest thing is I was staring down not playing at all this year, so the fact that we had plenty of time to pursue this and give me a window to come back and compete at the big league level before the playoffs is huge. And then, my goal is to be great enough for them that they are confident putting me in any situation down the stretch and then contributing in the playoffs.